Hello everybody, this is Tyler here once again from the Other Games channel, doing a completely different video this time around. So, recently I bought myself a Game Boy Advance SP, not from DKOldies, but from the video game company, which is a company that, just like DKOldies, they sell retro video games and video game consoles, and they're not really talked about as much as DKOldies. Like, there hasn't been very many videos of people opening stuff up from them and critiquing them. And in terms of their YouTube channel, they have, I believe, less than 100,000 subscribers, while DKOldies has, I think between 1 to 2 million. So, pretty small in comparison to DKOldies, but just like DKOldies, they do packing videos. And in the packing videos, they'll also give away a free gift for whoever was chosen to be filmed. But unlike DKOldies, who has a man behind, well, not behind, in front of the camera, Joey, who's the social media guy and kind of the main face of the company. Not the owner, of course, but regardless. Video game company, it's like a POV shot with their videos. It's a guy's hands, packing orders up and all that. No sound at all, kind of a very ASMR-ish type of thing, which may appeal to some people more so than the DKOldies ones where Joey's talking and all that. And oh, I didn't mean to go to price charting, but we'll talk about price charting later on. But I've noticed DKOldies probably might have taken some inspiration from the video game company's videos, because they've been doing some POV packing videos as well, in a way. So, just allegedly, but it's not confirmed. Anyway, so for this video, I am going to be comparing the prices and the warranties between both websites, and I guess also just first impressions on the website. But before we get to that, I of course want to talk about the Game Boy Advance SP that I got from the video game company. So if you want to not hear about me talking about this, you can skip to this timestamp down below. But anyways, so I wanted to get a Game Boy Advance SP for a little while, because the one that I had when I was a kid, the screen broke from a bit of gamer rage that I had back then. That's all I'm really going to say about that. If you know these SP models, they, unlike the Game Boy Advance, where it's just one thing, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. But yeah, the Game Boy Advance SP, it's very, I guess, kind of like a precursor to the DS's when it comes to being a clamshell design, where the screen, if you open it up, is just like so. And I got this from the video game company. It was labeled as good condition, which, I mean, if you can tell from the scuff marks on the actual console itself, I kind of doubted it was in good condition because of that, but apparently according to their website, they have their own grading system for grading video games and consoles, which I'm going to take a look at that real quick. Alright, so the video game company has 4 tiers when it comes to grading their stuff. There's mint, which is the best, very good, good, and then fair. So the Game Boy Advance SP that I got from them was in good condition, so rated 5 to 8 out of 10. These products have some character. Expect normal signs of wear, like light scratches, which my GBA SP has, so I'll give them that. Creases, dents, or a bit of fading and yellowing. They're still fully functional, which is also true. And presentable, just with some stories to tell. Perfect for those who don't mind a little history with their games, consoles, and accessories, which, I will say this about the video game company. So just like DKOldies, on their website, they don't have any actual photos of the products. They just have stock images, which we'll get into when we get to that. So the GBA SP, besides the cosmetic flaws with the console, it works pretty well. I will say though, the battery wasn't fully charged. I used it for an hour, and the battery was already dying, so I had to charge that. So would have been nice if the console was charged before I bought it, but anyways, still pretty good. Don't know if I would recommend buying from them again, because we'll get into the prices of their consoles and see if you think that either them or DKOldies are worth your time and money. But anyways, that was my tangent on the Game Boy Advance SP that I got from the video game company. Anyways, moving on to price comparisons between the companies. Well, I guess before we do price comparisons, we should, compare the warranties of these companies. So let's do DKOldies first. Buy used video games, original game systems, and old school gaming accessories at the largest family-run retro video game online store. Which, I don't think there's really any official proof that they are the largest, but they are definitely one of the most popular. Like I said, almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube alone. Shop all our vintage authentic products with a free 1-year warranty. So let's see what the video game company has in terms of warranty. If I can find it. Okay, so this is the video game company's return, refund, and warranty policy. So, return refunds. Returns are accepted within 30 days of the delivery date. Refunds apply to the purchase price only. Shipping costs are non-refundable unless the return is due to an error on our part. Okay, return item requirements. Be in the original packaging. Include all accessories, manuals, and inserts. Show no signs of wear, damage, or use. I mean, I do gotta ask, what if the thing you shipped to the person already has wear, damage, and use? Whatever. Match the exact item and condition that was shipped. Okay. Okay, so the video game company has a 60-day warranty, which is only about like 2 months. DKOldies, however, has a 1-year warranty, so I will give DKOldies a point for the warranty aspect. They seem to be a better warranty when it comes to that type of thing. So I'm going to have a scoreboard up on screen, as you can see there. I'm just doing a little tally check myself for when I get to edit the video and figure out who wins in the end. So, and also, DKOldies has free shipping on orders that are over $20 or more, which, if I remember correctly, a few years ago, it used to be $10 or more, but they have since changed it, I've noticed. Alright, so the video game companies, shipping requirements. So, if you're in Canada, it's free shipping on orders that are over 100 Canadian dollars or more. For Americans, it's $150 or more. International shipping, so it doesn't really show anything for international shipping, but so I will give DKOldies a point when it comes to the shipping. Well, free shipping, should I say. So DKOldies is currently 2-0 against the video game company in that respect. But so that's really all when it comes to their warranty and their requirements for free shipping. I'm not going to go over like how much they'll pay you for selling them games and consoles. We're going to get into the meat of this video, and that's going to be comparing the prices of their consoles and games. So I'm going to go through a variety of stuff. This is going to be a longer video, so hope you guys got yourself something to eat or drink or do whatever. If you want to use this video as background noise, you can. You can, like, I don't know, do art, play video games, work on stuff. Don't have to necessarily watch the video. You can just listen to my voice and all that. I don't know why I feel the need to say it in this video, but there's an option for that. Okay, so I forgot to mention this. I will also use price charting to kind of compare how much an NES is typically sold on places like eBay, Etsy, or Mercari compared to DKOldies and the video game companies. So here I am at DKOldies' website with their NES bundles. So they are selling an acceptable NES for $105 with replica controllers, but if you want the original controllers, that's going to be now $119. So keep that in mind with DKOldies. If you're buying any console bundles from them, they'll by default come with the third-party controllers, which, if everybody knows that, they're not as good to use as original controllers. They're not as durable, and they just don't feel as precise as the, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Alright, NES one-player pack, 170 for replicas, but if you want to get the original controller, it's $185, which I feel like is ridiculous for an NES. Like, honestly, I don't know what to say. $185 for an NES? Like, basically, like, half the price of a Nintendo Switch. I don't think so, buddy. Okay. Alright, I like what I'm seeing here. The video game company actually has the NES for a much better price. So, they don't seem to have the console in either mint or very good condition. They only have good and fair. So, fair condition is $110, which I think is kind of close to the same price that DKOldies has the acceptable one for. But a good condition one is $130, as opposed to DKOldies, which is, gosh, like $185 with the original controller. Now, I don't think video game company specifies if you get an original controller with this or a third party. Although I'm gonna assume, yeah, let me look at bundle details. Okay, so they don't really specify what kind of controller you're getting with the consoles, but I noticed this thing that says frequently bought together, and it shows an NES, what looks like an OEM NES controller, which they're selling for $12. It looks like in good condition. Oh wait. Okay. Something I forgot to mention about this website and DKOldies. So when they show you a price for a product, like in the search engines of both of their websites, they will show the cheapest price to you. But when you click on it, they will show you what the good condition price of is, which is way more than what you thought it is, because the price they're showing you in the search engine is actually the cheapest or the lowest condition version. If you want something that's in good working condition, it's going to be much more than that. So $20 for a brand new, not brand new, an original NES controller from the video game company. So, also, I forgot to mark off a point for the video game company when it comes to the NES console, because I do think they had a better price when it came to the NES console compared to DKOldies. And I guess I will give Video Game Company another point, because DKOldies is selling original NES controllers for $25. That is like a, what is that, like a $5 upcharge compared to the Video Game Company, so another point towards the Video Game Company, so we're 2-2. But actually, something I forgot to do, let's look up what an NES would cost typically according to price charting. Okay, I don't know why it was so difficult to try to find NES prices on price charting, but apparently a loose NES on average costs like $88, which is $12 less than what it typically was. So yeah, DKOldies I think was selling them for like what, $80 more than what they should be, at least with an original controller. That I will say that, but oh, this one makes me want to vomit. Super Nintendo 1-player pack, acceptable condition, $160 on DKOldies with a replica controller, $175 for an original controller. I got my Super Nintendo from eBay for $80. Yeah, it was also in acceptable condition. But it worked great. Like, I got it for half the price that DKOldies is selling it for. And, my god. A good condition Super Nintendo. $235, but $260 with an original controller. Also, that doesn't make any sense. Why is the original controller a $25 markup for the good condition one when the cosmetically flawed one was like $15 upcharge? That doesn't make any sense to me. $260, $40 cheaper than the Switch 1. What the fuck? Alright, Video Game Company has like 3 options here. $140 for the fair condition, $170 for the good condition, $225 for the very good condition. So, yeah, not a great price either, but I will say definitely, I think that's like $35 cheaper than what DKOldies would sell. Doesn't specify if it comes with an original controller, just like the other one does. But yeah, I'll give Video Game Company another point right there. Okay, I'm honestly glad I got my Super Nintendo from 2 years ago, because what, $115 now for a loose Super Nintendo, and it's $2 more now than what it was before. Like, what is going on here? But yeah, that's like half the price of what you would get from like these other places. So yeah, so I guess eBay is definitely your go-to place for getting a Super Nintendo. I guess almost all these consoles, let's be honest, are going to be better to get from eBay than DKOldies or the Video Game Company. Now for the Game Boys, we have a whole bunch of options over here, because they've made a crap ton of color variations for them. No, I don't need 10% off, thank you very much. So let's try the original version. So the OG Game Boy, let's see, what was that, like $85 for an acceptable, and then $135 for the good condition. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Alright, $100 for a good condition on the video game company, and then $130 for a very good condition copy. That's actually like the closest like that there is. It's only like a $5 like decrease on here compared to DKOldies. I'll still of course give the point to the video game company, but still, man, like paying like triple digits for a OG Game Boy just sounds like a crime to me. I gotta say, it's pretty funny when I search up Game Boy on Price Charted and literally every option is just like the Game Boy Pokemon games. Okay, look at that. Look at that. So, $70 for a loose copy for most places. And they want, like, what, $130 for them? Like, almost double the price for a Game Boy? Yeah. I don't know how to feel, man. This is just... Yeah. Alright, we're gonna take a break from Nintendo for the time being and move on to Sony with the PS1. Alright, so we got, what is that, $75 for the acceptable PS1 on DKOldies. Oh! That's funny, this wasn't an option when I first discovered DKOldies, so they have two options for upgrading controllers. $5 upcharge if you want the OG PS1 controller without the thumbsticks, and then a $10 upcharge if you want the thumbsticks. Or joysticks, whatever you want to call them. Or I guess I should say L3 and R3, since that's what a lot of PlayStation games refer to those controls as. So $115 for a good condition copy on here. $125 if you want either the dual analog or the dual shock controller for the PS1. I remember seeing this at one point in my local video game stores for like 60 to 70 bucks. Like, this is BS. Okay, and I think it's safe to say, I think this is the first time that DKOldies gets a point when it comes to consoles. Video game company selling a PS1, a very good condition one, for $130. $130. So I'm actually going to have to give DKOldies the point when it comes to the PS1. Interesting, but it's not over yet. Let's check price charting. This right here, I gotta say, is probably like the biggest like difference between eBay prices and video game company and DKOldies prices. $55 for a loose copy of the PS1 on eBay, on average. So, yeah, that's basically kind of the price I said for that. Glad to see that it hasn't really changed much. I'm glad PS1s are still kind of affordable on eBay. Obviously not on these places, of course, but that is cool to see. Alrighty, everybody, time to look at one of my favorite retro consoles, the Nintendo 64. DKOldies selling a acceptable copy for $110. Okay, that's interesting. So you can get an acceptable console, but you can get like a good condition controller with it. That's interesting. And it's a $20 upcharge, so you're looking at $130 if you want an okay console, but with a good controller. Alright, so $145 for a good condition N64, but $165 if you want the a good condition original controller. I think it's funny you also have the option to get like a good condition console, but a not as good condition copy of the original controller. I don't know why that's a thing. Also, it doesn't come with the expansion pack, so it just comes with a jumper pack. So keep that in mind if you're buying an N64 from DKOldies. And I'm assuming the same thing with the video game company, but we'll see the prices of their N64s. Okay, apparently some of their N64s are on sale. This orange one's out of stock, so can't buy that one, unfortunately, man. The green one, they got that on sale, apparently. On sale in quotations. Alright, very good condition. For... What the... Can you get out of that, please? Thank you. $165 for a very, very good condition N64 console, which I think... Wow, basically... They tie for this one. Nobody gets a point for the N64. You gotta be kidding me. $70 for a expansion pack? Really? $70 for an expansion pack. I got an N64 console with an expansion pack for like basically the same price that they're selling this without the expansion pack. at one of my local game stores. What the hell? Okay, that's a pretty low price. 67 to $68 for a loose N64 on eBay. That's really good. And honestly, it makes me wish I kind of got it from eBay instead of like the exchange, but that's fine. Didn't specify if they come with the expansion pack or not, so we'll see about that. Okay, this one in particular I am very looking forward to showcasing, because I remember the PS2 prices on DKOldies were bullshit. And what do you know? It is still bullshit. So the fat PS2, the in my opinion, the best looking PS2, is $250. $280 if you want the original controller. $280 for a PS2. What the actual fuck? And it's not much better on the video game company. $260 for a very good condition copy. Yeah, I will give the point to the video game company, but like, don't buy a PS2 from either one of them. I got a PS2 for $50 on eBay a couple years ago. Didn't come with the cords or controller or memory cards, but of course I had to get those separately. But I'm sure it's way cheaper than buying it from either one of these places. All right, $90 for a loose PS2 on eBay. That is like a what? Like 3 times cheaper? Yeah. 3 times more expensive on DKOldies than getting it from eBay. Like, you gotta be, like, shitting in my bed right here. If you guys remember from the beginning of my video where I talked about the Game Boy Advance SP that I got from a video game company, let's check out what DKOldies is selling the SP Fire Red model or Flame Red model for. They don't have it in stock, so a good condition one is $190. And the one that I got from the video game company, which is in good condition, $180. So only a $10 difference between the two. So a point goes towards video game company, but not the best still. Okay, is it me or did they go up in price recently? Because I could have sworn like a week ago these were like $90. Now they're like $104 for a loose one on eBay. What happened? I gotta ask that, but yeah, still, eBay still the cheaper option of all of these three, let's be honest. Alrighty, time to look at another console that I feel like is gonna raise a lot of eyebrows when it comes to prices. GameCubes. $170 for the acceptable Indigo GameCube. You don't even get the option to upgrade your controllers with this one, so it's either third party or get the fuck out, according to DKOldies. $225 for a good condition one. Sorry, $250 if you want the OG controllers. $250 for a GameCube. I saw one on eBay recently without the controller for $80. But my silence says it all. Alright, so the Indigo GameCube, from what I see on the video game company's website, sold out. So I guess we'll just have to... Okay, they have it priced differently, judging on the colors. That's kind of strange if you ask me. So I guess if they did sell it, it would have been $225 for a very good condition copy. Which I guess is better than DKOldies. So 7-3 against DKOldies. Alright, so $116 for loose GameCubes on eBay on average. So $5 more than what they're supposed to be. That's a oof. But still, there you go. Like I said before, I did see one for $80, but didn't come with a controller. It also came with a memory card and a loose disc game, so keep that in mind. Alrighty, Xbox, welcome to the video. Alright, right off the bat, DKOldies is selling a good condition OG Xbox for $230. Sorry, $240 if you want any of the OG controllers, though. So, yeah. Don't know how to feel about that one. $220 for a very good condition copy on Video Game Company, so that is only a $20 difference, so they get a point. But nobody wins, let's be honest. Alright, so original Xboxes apparently on eBay go for an average of $104, which is honestly much more than they need to be. But still, there's that to keep in mind. Alright, just like with some of the other Nintendo handhelds, the DSs have so many options. So many different types, too. So there's the original DS, there's the DS Lite, DSi, DSi Lite. I'm not sure why the 2DS is listed in here, even though that's a different generation, but, anyway, I'm assuming this is going to be the OG DS with the ability to play Game Boy Advance games, so they don't have the good condition one in stock. Yep, this is the one that does play... Sorry, it doesn't mention if it... Okay, yeah, I'm assuming this is the OG DS. Good condition, 140. Okay. This is actually not a bad price. $90 for a good condition DS from the video game company, which is surprisingly half the price of what a GBA SP costs from there, apparently. I guess I should have gotten this one instead, but obviously I can't play any Game Boy or Game Boy Color games on this, but yeah, pretty good. That's like, what, a $50 difference, so yeah, definitely a big point there for the video game company. I didn't realize DSs were so cheap on eBay. $44 for a loose OG DS, the platinum color or silver color. Wow. Might have to keep that in mind if I ever decide to try to get a OG DS. Alright, we got the PSPP, or PSP, sorry. Alright, we got a bunch of different models for this one. Let's just do the standard, like, 1000 model, the original PSP model. $180 for a good condition copy of this console. I don't know what to say about that one, but let's check the price on the video game company. $155 on the video game company. That's only like a $25 difference, so I guess they get the point. So 10-3 currently, if you guys have been keeping track. Well, obviously I've been keeping track, and obviously I'm keeping track with the video if you see on screen. Alright, $80 for a 1000 model of the PSP on eBay. Alrighty, Xbox 360, and oh, I noticed DKOldies. They don't seem to have any 360s in stock. That's, I wonder why. Let's check out the 360S 4GB. Let's see how much they would have sold for a good condition. $130 with the third-party controller. $140 if you want the OG 360 controller. Okay, so I don't know if the video company has the 4GB 360S available, but $270 for a 500GB one. That's what the hell. Okay, so they don't seem to have the 4GB model with the without the Kinect. Like, they have one with the Kinect, and that's $210. So I don't really know how to score this one. Let's move on to price starting. Let's see what they sell 360Ss for. Alright, $60 for a 4GB 360S. That's actually pretty good. I like that price. Alright, let's look at a console that I've actually bought from DKOldies 2 years ago, a Wii. So, acceptable Wii is apparently $75, $85 if you want the original controllers and nunchucks. Wow. I'm so glad I bought the console when I did. $125 now for a good condition one, $130 with the original stuff. Because I think I got this for like, what, $95 or $100 good condition from DKOldies like 2 years ago. Don't know why they raised the price on it so much, but video game company, let's see if you have them beats. Alright, $130 for a very good condition copy of the Wii. This is the model that, of course, has the GameCube functionality. So, DKOldies, for the first time since the PS1, gets a point. So now, it's now 10-4. Obviously, it's not a close race, but still, interesting to point out. And the white Wii is $60 on eBay, so about the same price as a 360S 4GB model. So, there's that to keep in mind. Alright, PS3. So, obviously they don't have the backwards compatible one in stock, the one that can play PS2 games. I mean, the only ones they seem to have in stock are the 80GB fat model without the PS2 functionality, and then the slim models, as we can see here. They don't have the super slim in stock, which, I mean, I don't really care about the super slim that much. Let's check out the 80GB fat version without the PS2 functionality. $180 for a good condition. They don't seem to have original controllers in stock, but if they did, would have had to pay freaking $210. What the shit? Okay, Video Game Company doesn't seem to specify whether they have the fat model without the backwards compatibility or with the backwards compatibility. Well, they seem to be sold out of this one, but if they had it, it would have been $380. Jesus Christ. And I'm assuming this is the one without the, oh, this is a, wait, what? 500 gigabytes. I'm pretty sure the most that a fat PS3 can do is like 80. Huh. Don't know if I can really judge that one or give a point towards either one of them. Alright, so apparently the 80 gig without the backwards compatibility tends to be $100, which, I mean, the price that I paid for at the exchange was like, so I think they were selling it for $120, but they had a Black Friday sale going on, so I only got it for like $96, so about that price, so that's accurate. Alrighty, time for us to look at a console that has had a significant price increase recently, the 3DS. Let's look at the Flare Red OG 3DS without the new in the title. Oh, it's not an XL model either. Good condition, $330. I don't even know if this thing was even $330 when it first came out. Let me go to Wikipedia and find out. Okay, so when it first launched, it was $250. DKOldies wants $330 for it, but apparently nowadays it's like, I guess if you account for inflation, it would have been $360 by today's standards. But regardless, like, you got to be kidding me. More than a Switch. A 3DS is worth more than a Switch, apparently. Okay, probably the best price I have seen from the Video Game Company compared to DKOldies. $220 for a good condition copy of the original red 3DS, which is the model that I have. So that is like a what, $110 difference between DKOldies and Video Game Company. So Video Game Company, give you a round of applause for that one. So now it is 11-4. And apparently on eBay, they're like $146. So still pretty pricey, but definitely cheaper than both places. Especially DKOldies. Like, my god, what are you guys smoking over there? Alright, PlayStation Vita 1000. They don't seem to have this one in stock, but if they did, it would have been $270. But they have an acceptable one for $220. A $50 difference between conditions, I see. That's kind of strange. Do they have any Vitas in stock? They got Japanese ones in stock at... Huh, I didn't... Wait. What is this? PlayStation TV launch bundle? So wait, does this come with the Vita? What's in here? Huh? Comes with... Why is this in the PS Vita section? This should have been in its own separate section. What the fuck? I love how it's on sale and it doesn't even have, like, it's sold out apparently. I don't know if this is the same model as the... I think it might be, but it's $240 if they did have it on here. Very good condition. So I guess they'll get a point for that one. 12-4 now. Okay, I'm honestly not sure if this is the correct model for the PS Vita, but it's like apparently $144 for a loose version, so I am surprised how pretty pricey Vitas are. Alright, 32 gigabytes black Wii U system on DKOldies is apparently $265 for a good condition copy. That's actually unfortunately very close to what this thing was when it first came out. Alright, another pretty decent price from the Video Game Company. $155 for a 32 gig black model of the Wii U, very good condition. Yep, gotta give a point to them. $138 for a loose copy of it, according to eBay, or price charting, should I say. So that's, probably the closest I've ever seen a company selling a Wii U, to price charting value. Interesting. So, a standard 500 gigabyte PS4 is on DKOldies for $220. Good condition. Doesn't give you the option for controllers. That's interesting. Alright, very good condition one on Video Game Company for $145. So, they definitely get quite a good point for that one. 14-4 currently. And apparently loose, it's like 112 to 113 on price charting. So, another pretty close price, I will say. Alright, 500 gig Xbox One. Good conditions, 170 on DKOldies. If the video game company had this one in stock, it would have been 130, so $40 difference. Video game company wins this one. And wow, $72 on price starting for an Xbox One 500 gig black model. Damn, that's really good. Holy crap. Now, interestingly enough, despite these not really being retro consoles, like DKOldies and the video game company do sell Switches on their websites. And funny enough, a video game company actually apparently has PS5s on here. And they don't have any of them. What about the series consoles for Xbox? They don't have either one of those either. So, that's about it, everybody. So the final score is the video game company wins with a whopping 15, while DKOldies only gets 4 points. DKOldies gets points for their warranty and their shipping, and also the price of their PS1 and Wii consoles. So, yep, there's that for you. Yeah, video game company, overall, the cheaper option when it comes to, I guess, a online store that sells retro games and consoles. Now, I think I said at the beginning of the video we were also going to be doing game prices, but this video has already been long enough, so I might just, if you guys want, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see me do a separate video where I compare game prices between these two stores, and also let me know if there's any particular games you want to see me compare the prices of, if I do that video. Had to say that sentence really slowly just to make sure I didn't sound like I was stuttering. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video of me comparing and contrasting the prices of video game consoles between DKOldies and the video game company. So, both, I will say, are pretty pricey outlets for buying used games and consoles, but, I mean, there you go. Like I said, eBay prices are probably going to be much better. And also, they do show actual photographs of their stuff on eBay, unlike DKOldies and Video Game Company, which have like stock images. So keep that in mind as well. Of course, I'm not saying to, like, you know, boycott these places, but yeah, just letting people be more aware of, like, where they're going to, and just telling people, like, hey, there are better places to get these consoles and games from. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more content to come on this channel. And this is Tyler from Leader Games channel, signing out.